What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
That no one is ever going to give a shit about you, even 1% as much as you have to give the shit about yourself. No one cares.
That's a common trait across every sibling, relationship in the world. But, let's talk about chess. When did you start playing chess? Because I've seen articles on Andrew winning chess competitions from when he was 5 years old. When did your dad get you boys to start playing chess?
So what's interesting now is I'm going to start teaching my daughter chess now, and she can't even speak properly. The reason being, I don't remember ever not knowing how chess pieces move. So I don't know how old I was when he taught me, but I never have that memory of sitting down and saying, how does this piece move? How does this piece move? My earliest recollections of chess, maybe I was 3.5, my earliest recollections of sitting at the board, I knew how the pieces moved already.
So for as long as you can remember, you've naturally known where all the pieces move.
There's not a single point in my life when I can remember not knowing how to play chess or learning how to play chess.
That's insane.
I remember studying chess, but actually learning the rules of the game, how to set them up, it feels like I've always known it. So he must have taught me before I could speak.
Don't listen to fat people, because fat people are usually wrong about most things, because what they do is they change their worldview and they shape their worldview around coping that it's great to be fat. So let's say, for example, I saw a man wearing a tailored suit, a basic one, a cheap one, and a man wearing a far superior suit, maybe a tuxedo, with the studs and the bow tie and the cufflinks, and he was very, very fat. The guy in the normal suit looks better. So when you try to, I guess, insult me and say Tristan's idea of style is being in shape is style, and it's style that you can't buy. It's style you have to work for.
But people will only stop saying that when you get to insane levels of money. At least twice a day on Twitter, people say, haha, they have a bunch of rented cars. I rent 40 supercars every day. I'd have to be
that
like,
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Tate is stitched in the back of my Bugatti seats, but people will always talk shit and people will always hate on you for doing well in life. But yeah, if you're a young man and you've closed your first big deal and you have your first bit of money and there's a car you want, maybe it's a BMW, maybe it's a Mercedes, I would say, with all the financial advisors and business nerds on Twitter who will tell me not to say this, I would say go out and buy that car.
Yeah.
And then that car will increase your image, and then continue working, continue grinding, and then buy more cars.
And it motivated you to do more.
Now I can buy anything I like. And now when I buy something stupid like a Koenigsegg for 4.4 million, like the one that's on its way, and people say,
I've seen some of your car purchases. They're insane.
I know.
And I mean, they're endless and they're unlimited.
And when that arrives, there's going to be some nerds like 4.4 million. He could have done this and invested in real estate and bought stocks and bought crypto. Now, you think I don't do that? Here's the thing. Now people think that I just buy cars and I have no portfolios, no backup, no savings, no property, nothing. They have no idea what I invest where. But the fact that I can buy a $4 million car outright means I have at least 4 million cash.
Yeah.
But I would say that if you see someone like me buying a $5 million car, they've got at least 25 or 30 cash. And they're doing smarter things with the rest of it.
I watched you go on Shipwreck the Island.
Shipwreck!
Shipwreck the Island, Channel 4. I watched you go on, and you were actually living at my house at the time.
I was.
Me and Andrew stayed at my house because my dad had an operation. My mum had moved out due to my own family divorce, and you and Andrew were living at my house. I remember me and Andrew waiting for you. For 3 months you were gone.
I was gone on the island, yeah.
Right, and when you came back, you were skinny as a rake because there was no food there, or you had to sustain yourself. Now, after that, you started traveling quite a lot. And I mean, in the sense of, we went to Košice, Slovakia, a few times. Me, you, and Andrew, and Košice was beautiful. Which brings me on to say, where did Romania come into the equation? Because I'm missing that link myself.
I've always liked Eastern Europe. So the reason I used to go to Košice is because when I was 15, 16, I used to live with that Slovak guy, Peter, who I still speak with to this day. He's a good friend of mine. He invited me to his hometown once, and I was like, it's clean, it's safe, it's beautiful, everyone's nice, everyone's... And you hear the word, especially we're now talking, Jesus, 20 years ago, 19 years ago, when you hear the word Slovakia, everyone's like, Slovakia must be a hellhole. I think people are now a lot more wise than they were. But Romania probably has one of the worst brand names in Europe. And 7.5, 8, no, it must have been 9 years ago now. There was a big fight show out here, and my friend didn't have cornermen. My friend Thomas didn't have a cornerman, and he said, "Oh, I don't have the show won't pay to fly my cornerman out. Do you and Andrew want to come be my cornerman?" We said, "Yeah, let's go check Romania out." And Romania was and still is an absolutely wonderful country. And I know people want me to talk shit about Romania. And
I've been very pleasantly surprised by Romania.
I know.
I've been here a few times. You know, I lived here for a while before. You know, you've showed me everywhere, and the scenery is stunning. I'm not going to go into that.
And England was getting worse and worse, so I just thought, you know what? I've got some good friends in Romania. Property's cheap out there in Romania. So I bought a flat that cost me 40,000 euros for a nice flat in the mountains in a village near Brasov. And what's funny is people dig this stuff up now. Oh, Tristan thinks he's a baller, but we've been reading his property records, and he used to live in a 40,000 pound flat. Yeah, well, I was like 20. I was like 27. Like, how is that a dig? How is that an insult? Leave me alone. But yeah, obviously now I've got properties in Dubai worth 20 million plus, so everyone can shut their mouths. But yeah, I just fell in love with Romania. I really enjoyed it here. I thought it was a wonderful country. I still think it is. Hopefully I'll be able to stay. It depends on how the situation ends. But better than England. England's going downhill.
Where did the idea of Hustlers University and the War Room come about? Because I remember Andrew talking about, you know, when he started to build it. Where did the idea come from?
Well, it's very interesting because me and Andrew have been under attack for a while. We now look back and they've tried to nip us in the bud. We didn't even realize at the time. 6 years ago was the first time Andrew got banned on Twitter because he had an argument with J.K. Rowling about mental health.
I remember, yeah.
And now J.K. Rowling is anti-transgender and stuff. She's coming around to the right side. So I guess maybe one day
you've influenced her, right?
One day I'll buy her a drink. Who knows? But they had some kind of argument, and Andrew got banned for talking about mental health on Twitter.
When people say, "Oh yeah, well you got all this money and all these cars and stuff, well you can't take it with you. You're gonna die one day, mate. Our graves are all the same size. Be humble." No, I'll tell you why. Just because something is going to eventually end does not mean that you have to not enjoy it and not live life to its fullest and enjoy all the fruits that this beautiful earth can give you if you work hard enough. Imagine you're in a movie theater, Andrew. Me and you are in a movie theater. You get the worst ticket right at the back of the movie theater. You buy 0 snacks. You can't see or hear the movie properly, right? And I am sitting there in the front row. Popcorn, one woman to my left, one woman to the right. Pepsi, beers, wines, and I'm sitting there in the front row really enjoying this movie. How do you think it would make me feel if you came from the back of the cinema and said, "Well, mate, the movie's gonna end one day, so the movie's eventually gonna end, so why you cut the popcorn, because you can't take it out of the movie theater."
Did you ever believe that the War Room and Hustlers University would grow to the size it is today?
No, and it's not about the size, it's about the power that they have. So when Andrew first got cancelled on Twitter, he thought, you know what, I'm gonna start my own little network. I'm gonna charge, £300 a year for access to it. I'm gonna call it Andrew Tate's War Room. And this way I can speak with the people who resonate with my message and, you know, build this little network group without Twitter, because I'm banned on Twitter anyway.
Yeah.
So it was actually the people who tried to cancel us who have always made us stronger. So those were the beginnings of the War Room. And it wasn't that the War Room was such a great product because me and Andrew were in it that made it what it is. It was the quality of the people who signed up to the War Room that made it what it is. I want to make this very clear. The War Room was built by the people within it. There was a point about 2 years into it where we kicked half the people out because we realized, no, kick them out. We don't need their money anymore. We don't need the membership fee.
It was more about having the high quality
people. So you know what, let's triple the price.
Yeah.
Screw it.
Yeah.
High value, good people only. And that's when the War Room became what it is.
That's a great dynamic.
Yeah, so the War Room is a very successful business network, and I think it always will be. The War Room isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And the War Room had my back when I was in jail. They know exactly the kind of attack that's happening on me. Everyone in the War Room is a wonderful person, and I've made some very good friends from the War Room.
Life is a game. It's a game in the same way a video game is a game, and the goal is to leave a high score. And I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking just about money. I'm talking about leaving your mark on the world. I have conversations with my friends when we get into deep conversations about people who lived 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 years ago. Very important people. And they could not possibly imagine that there's a man sitting in Romania with a bottle of tequila sitting around with his friends discussing this person. But he's made a mark on the world that's echoed through time. You have to be different from everybody else to achieve things that everybody else does not. Whatever everybody in your school is doing, think of them as fish swimming down a river. You need to swim up the river somehow because nobody is going to help you in life. You are by yourself. So you and maybe 1 or 2 other people in the world who are close to you, that's your team and that's all you've got, and you have to somehow make it. And maybe one day you'll be in the same room as me, shaking my hand, and you could tell me the story of how you did it.